Shelly Zaman, creative writer at North America Prothomalo. On-call interpreter at New York Board of Election. Studied major in history at University of Dhaka. From Dhaka, Bangladesh. Lives in Queens, New York. The unexpected. Hello. Hi. How may I help you? Sure. May I have a taste of the chocolate and peanut butter ice cream? Sure. I will just serve you in a minute. How are you? I am fine. How about you? I am doing great. Today is a great day, isn't it? Yes, a very bright and sunny day. The skinny blue-eyed beauty that is standing in front of me, the above conversation was with her. She smiled her $1,000,000 smile, and requested to taste 2 samples of chocolate and peanut butter ice creams. Thereafter, while talking, she used her fine fingers of her right hand to push back the disheveled hair from her forehead like a comb. The uncommon black nail polish on her well-manicured nails shone brightly against her yellowish-white complexion. While continuing to speak, she dug into her made-in-India tote bag, decorated with horse and elephant motifs, slung over her shoulder, searching for something. She finally came out with a BlackBerry cell phone and got busy with it. In the short time span between end of coffee time and start of lunch time, the road in front of the shop gets much lesser traffic and quietens down. The passage of ice cream lovers too becomes slighter. This area of Park Avenue can well be considered as a commercial area. There are quite a few high-rise luxury residential buildings in this area, but their rents too touch the sky. So, mostly polished and aristocratic professionals frequent this place. From the daughter of our ex-president, Chelsea Clinton, to various lawyers, doctors, journalists, bankers and business analysts, are my regular customers here. A few steps away from my shop is the subway station of trains 4, 5 and 6 going uptown. So, there are some flying customers too who are not seen the second time round. I have been working for a long time from 8 to 5 days a week in this tiny, clean and tidy little ice cream and coffee shop, in this aristocratic area of Park Avenue on the street number 28. And for that reason, I am well acquainted with most of the residential and professional customers here. That acquaintance with most of them has developed into such a close friendship that we share our personal matters too. Most of them come in every day to pick up some tea or coffee or ice cream. Once they are here, they also share their weal and woes. Even I share a lot of my stories with them. Sometimes an inquisitive traveler stops by, even an occasional tourist or a newcomer to the locality. Quite a few come in only to taste samples. Some come in to avail the Wi-Fi or use their computers. As there was no queue of customers, just a few dropping in off and on, I took the opportunity to take out my wallet from the tote bag that I keep in the lower shelf behind the counter. I needed to call the American Express credit card company and try to request them into waiving off a late fee of $35. I just took out the wallet in my hand to take out the card when this lascivious beauty came up to the counter, radiating the whole room. A beautiful woman, probably was attractive to both men and women alike. Mesmerized on seeing this unknown beauty, I looked up. Hastening to talk to her, I hurriedly kept the wallet just next to the register. Then turning around, I mildly pressed the handle of the ice cream machine, and pouring 2 flavors of chocolate and vanilla-flavored peanut butter ice creams in 2 sample cups, I turned back and forwarded the cups towards the gorgeous girl. She picked up both the sample cups and said, "Never mind. I have changed my mind. I will come again some other time. Actually, today is a very special day for me. This is the day when I first met my boyfriend, at Madison Square Park. He is waiting for me there. I want to celebrate this day in a special way." At the end of her words, she smiled a sweet and shy smile. As she smiled, 2 cute dimples appeared on the cheeks of the dazzling beauty. Though I was not a lesbian, yet after seeing those dimples, I was not displeased that she left after just taking the samples. In answer, I too smiled equally sweetly and said, "Okay, no problem. May your special day be a great one. Enjoy. Hope to see you again." Like a fickle deer, casting a swift glance around the room, in hurried steps raising a wave on her knee-length dark blue skirt, she left the shop. No sooner did I bid adieu to her, my favorite friend for a long-time customer, immigration lawyer Mitchell came in and stood in front of me. I cordially looked up at her and said, "Hi Mitchell. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. All is well?" "Shall, I am going through a very rough time, you know. All my dreams have come to an end. I am totally disorientated." "What are you saying? What happened?" "You know, Shal, I was also thinking of committing suicide. All has come to an end, Shal." "Oh no. Don't say like this. I am really very sorry. You can share with me if you want to, Mitchell." Taking a large coffee and stirring some sugar and milk in it, Mitchell in tearful eyes said, "There is a breakup with my fiancé. But as far as I know, you two were an amazing couple." Paying up for the coffee and dropping $1 in the box for tips, Mitchell smiling sadly said, "It's okay. Don't you worry for me. I am getting over my misery. All will be well. Time will heal everything, isn't it? I too have to live. Have to cherish life. This is how life is." "Sure. I know you are a very strong and intelligent girl, Mitchell. You will definitely do well. I hope you find a person with a good heart. There will be a lineup of handsome men for such a smart and beautiful girl like you." On hearing how I spoke, Mitchell broke down into an innocent and hearty giggle. Giggling, she said, "You are such a lovely girl, Shelly. I always enjoy talking to you. To me, speaking to you is a breath of fresh air. Okay, I have to go back to work. Bye, Shell. See you soon." "Thanks, Mitchell. Stay well. See you soon." Mitchell left with the coffee mug in her hand. She looked an epitome of agony. Staring at the road ahead of her, I, from behind, felt a kind of pain in my heart. Poor soul. Their breakup happened in a totally unexpected way. Mitchell's boyfriend Paul was very handsome and an architect. He came to the shop for coffee or ice cream several times. When they came together, I took delight in their childish bickering for pleasure. Sometimes Paul's fingers would play with Mitchell's golden brown hair, and sometimes he used to hug Mitchell with his two strong arms from behind. Without letting any time go to waste while standing in the queue, they would hug and kiss each other profoundly. They have been living together for over a year, yet having known the person so well, the final I do was not to be told. They had their engagement about 6 months back, and the date of their marriage was also announced. On a vacation to the Aruba Islands, Paul knelt down and proposed to his longtime girlfriend Mitchell, with a Lucida white gold diamond ring from the exclusive Tiffany & Co. In this green island in the turquoise water of the Caribbean Ocean, was a rocky cave. With the smell of dry earth wetted with rain water, surrounded by primitive forest, weirdly shaped boulders and the sudden flapping of wings of the bats, all together made that cave in the Aruba Islands a pulsating and fantastic experience. That cave, named as Halaba, is also called the Tunnel of Love, as the entrance to the cave is shaped like a heart. Paul had chosen that heart-shaped entrance to impart his love. Totally overwhelmed, Mitchell let out her heart to Paul, keeping the Caribbean Ocean and the Cave of Love as witnesses. All these stories were told by Mitchell herself. In fact, Mitchell would jubilantly laugh and happily share the tiniest detail of her wedding, like where the destination of their wedding would be, how the bridal dress would be, how the wedding invitation card would be, how big it would be, what design the wedding cake would be, and even the budget of their wedding. If not busy, I too would take interest and listen to her. Between her anecdotes, she never failed to inquire of the tiniest detail of me. "How is life? What's new, Shal?" I remembered a long time ago on a snowy winter morning, Mitchell had come into the shop to get some coffee. I wanted to know how she was. Mitchell, coughing slightly, said in a broken voice that she was having a very bad cold. I suggested, "I know of a very effective remedy for cold. It works like tonic. If you want, I can make it for you." "Oh, is it? What is it?" "Ginger lemon tea, together with honey and cinnamon powder. That is, if you are not allergic to any of these." "I am not allergic. You are a good girl, Shelly. That is why I always prefer to come to you here. You know, this cold is troubling me for quite some time." Since then she has become my friend. For the next few days I made her the ginger lemon tea, and our relationship also turned nectarous. She would always strike up a conversation while I made coffee for her. She mostly spoke of her plans for present and future. A very intelligent student, a successful lawyer and extrovert by nature, this girl in her 30s finally found time to settle down. Now she was desperately trying to get down from size 6 to 4 with a round of jogging every morning, and hot Vikram yoga 3 to 4 days a week. In appreciation of her forthcoming family life, she also quit smoking. The dream of building a happy family with 2 or 3 kids was evident in her face. Even I enjoyed all these stories of Mitchell. Such positive people also rejuvenate all the people around them. One feels inspired on meeting them. Before more customers came in, I tried to organize things a bit. I started dusting the chairs and tables in front, the computer, and cleaned everything. Having refilled the containers of the coffee cups, ice cream cups, spoons, toppings, and totally geared up to face the forthcoming lunchtime probable rush and long queues, I stood in front of the register in a satisfied and relaxed mood. Slowly the queue started growing. At one point while opening the register to keep the money, I happened to remember my wallet which I had kept there. Oh! It was just here, just next to the register. Now seeing the empty space, my heart sank. How astonishing! How did I manage to forget that I had kept the wallet right here on the counter? It had totally escaped my attention for all this while. But there was no time now to think of it. The rush was piling up. A long queue of customers stood before me. In spite of the turmoil going on inside me, I had to smile and greet each one with a hi and hello, and had to concentrate on my work. As I worked, I tried to analyze every little move that I made since I took out the wallet. I laid out each picture one after the other in sequence in my mind. Suddenly my heart missed a beat. That's it, after the blue-eyed beauty left, Mitchell came in, but the wallet was not there when I kept Mitchell's money into the register. I would have definitely noticed had it been there. All of a sudden, the heated voice of the dusky beauty in front of me broke my string of thoughts. Hi. Will you change this ice cream cone for me? Sorry. I think you asked for a vanilla cone, didn't you? Yes. But you couldn't make this well. This is not at all good looking. I won't take this. I looked up once at the dusky girl's face, and then at the ice cream cone in her hand. The top twist of the ice cream, instead of standing straight and rising like a pyramid, had leaned a little to one side like La Torre Pendente di Pisa, or the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I heard that this tower has become famous, in fact one of the 7 wonders of the world, just because it has leaned to one side. The error of the engineers and fault of the construction workers today has turned out like a blessing on Pisa. But I did not understand what difference in taste and beauty this slight leaning of the twisted tip of the ice cream made. Had it been any other time I would have gladly discarded the ice cream and made her a fresh one. But this girl's cantankerous attitude and the agitated way of talking infuriated me no end. Staring at her with cold, hard eyes, and in a voice colder than that, I said, I don't see any problem. You can see so many people are standing behind you in the line. Please, will you kindly pay now? I have to look after other customers too. No sooner did I finish my words, the dusky beauty roaring furiously flung the ice cream cone into the garbage can and stomped out of the shop. In the abruptness of this unforeseen incident, all the customers and I stood totally flabbergasted. A mild murmur started regarding the dramatics of the incident. The customer standing in front of me, a very well-known face, an accident case lawyer, lifted up both his hands in the air, rolling his eyes, shrugged and said, Wow. Holy cow. This is just not right. She is absolutely crazy. But I know better. In this country, since customer rights gets the maximum priority, public opinion can change in a second. So to make the best of this unexpected situation, I said, embarrassed, Sorry. It was my fault. I should have changed that ice cream and made a new one for her. Then after a pause, just to express my regret and anguish, I again said, By the way, my wallet got stolen about an hour ago right from here. It was again my fault, as I had carelessly kept it here on the counter and went about doing other things. I had 2 credit and debit cards in my wallet. So, I am mentally very upset. I am having a lot of tension too. Instantly I was overwhelmed by the compassion of the public. Everybody started giving different advices. What I need to do immediately, and why was I such a fool not to have taken any step as yet, etc. etc. I waited for the crowd to thin down a bit. I also started counting time waiting for my coworker Romana to turn up. As soon as she takes her position behind the register, I can go at the rear end and call up my bank and credit card company to freeze my account. I also needed to call up my manager and request for an early leave. I was very disturbed. I could not concentrate on my work. I felt disgusted and didn't really feel like smiling and greeting the customers. I wonder how much money they had spent by now. Irritated for a moment, I called up the manager. I briefly explained the whole episode and said that I wanted to leave as soon as Romana arrived. Romana was a Bangladeshi school student who came to work for us for 3 months of her summer vacation. She helps me during the peak hours of 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Another boy named Tamim comes in at 5 in the evening. He works from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., and closing up the shop was his job. But it was not possible for Romana to manage the whole shop all by herself until Tamim came in. So, it was decided that Tamim would be requested to come in as early as possible, and until then the manager would himself come into the shop and take charge. I was praying to Allah in my heart, and looking forward to the arrival of the manager and Romana. Destiny smiled. Romana's face emerged at the doorway before her scheduled time. I was so happy to see her that I gave her a big hug. Telling her of my troubles, I advised her not to waste any more time changing into her work t-shirt, but to put on her apron and start work. Not wasting further time, I called up my bank. Having informed them of my stolen debit card, I requested them to freeze my account. But they started asking for my account number, social security number, date of birth, home address and whatnot. At this time of need I could not recall either my account number or my social security number. I grew terribly mad at myself for not remembering these numbers. Due to my foolishness I have to go through such a bad phase. All this literally brought me to tears. Time was running out, and I was still struggling to prove my identity to the bank. Then I suddenly remembered that the employee book with the manager definitely had my social security number. I hurriedly called up my manager and collected the social number, and then called up each of the TD Bank, HSBC Bank, American Express Credit Card Company, to freeze my account. I also said that I would ring them up again in an hour to know of the updates. After the manager arrived, 911 was rung up, and the police was called in. The police came and noted all details. Then checking the CCTV video footage, the beautiful girl was identified. When I, turning back, was happily filling up the sample cups with her ice cream, she unhesitatingly took my wallet from the counter and put it in her tote bag slung on her shoulder. As the whole episode was clearly recorded on camera, not much explanation was required by the police. Completing all police and legal formalities, I started for home. Reaching home I had my meal, quietened down and sat with my phone. The bank and credit card company informed me that my account had been frozen soon after my call. The cards have been deactivated. Now I was secured. But the thief in the meantime had successfully withdrawn quite a sum from my account. I swore in my mind a female thief. However, the bank assured me that there was nothing to worry. An inquiry committee would be set up to look into my case, and the inquiry officer would need to talk to me for a few days on the phone. And after all the discussion, if it is proved that my card was actually stolen, and that I have not used my card and made false allegations, then the bank and the credit card company would reimburse me my stolen money. After that, in several phases for quite a few days, I had to sit with the inquiry officers on telephonic meetings. I had to answer to all their queries. The officer would ask a question, and I had to answer with a yes or a no. After a number of days of police investigation, I was able to prove that when the cards were used, I was at my place of work. All the purchases, food bills and merrymaking. None of it was done by me. Finally, the bank and the credit card company, after taking in the police case number along with different testimonies, agreed to return all the money stolen back to me. A heavy unforeseen load of all these days of frustration, misery and needless trouble seemed to relieve me. I am quite happy and delighted with the knowledge that I would get back all my money and not have to repay the credit card companies for the merrymaking of some unknown people. One day all of a sudden, I came back from work to find that a beautiful parcel was waiting for me. Surprised, I wondered about who were there in my life who could have sent me a parcel. Friends, in-laws, own relatives. No one seemed probable. I opened the parcel with great interest. Oh dear. This is my very own, much-used black wallet. Holding the wallet in my hand, I got gooseflesh. This wallet has come back to me from the thief. On opening the wallet, I found that except a few dollars in the bank debit and credit cards, all other papers like the ID, hospital clinic card, insurance card, all were in their rightful places. Only there was another paper, wherein was typed a letter in bold. Curious, I started to read the letter. Hi, sweetheart. I am really very sorry for your inconvenience. But I am sure, in the meantime, you have spoken to your bank and credit card company, and that you will be getting back all your stolen money in due course. As far as I know, you will not incur any personal loss. My boyfriend and I are really very grateful to you. Your leaving the wallet on the counter and forgetting about it gave us an incredibly great day that was unanticipated. Presently both of us being out of jobs are a bit pressed for money. One day time will change, I am sure, but this day perhaps we will never get. Before you could freeze your credit and debit card, we did quite a bit of shopping. We had a lovely lunch and spent a splendid intimate time at the motel. It will remain a memorable day in our life. Thanks again. I am extremely sorry for troubling you. Stay well. By the way, your big smile is really beautiful. I pray that may this hearty smile of yours remain intact always. Stay cool. Bye. As I read, I recalled the dimpled smile of the blue-eyed beauty. I don't know why, but this unexpected letter from the thief immediately rejuvenated me. At least, though intentionally, I have been able to present a very fine day and loving time to someone. Translated from Bengali by Purnazri Nag.